All right, so let me share my screen. You might be very well, 1 second, I'll put it in presenter mode. You might already have idea about distributed systems in your post-graduation course, right? Like how to build large scale web or any platform in that case.
Mm.
Example, App Store, Apple App Store, or Google Play Store, any
Mhm.
B2B or B2C or any software which deals with millions of users or millions of requests from a single user, a single process. Example, cloud. Uh, so, so that architecture is something very important, because if you go to company like Microsoft, Amazon, or Google, you always need to work on a particular small portion, any particular microservice or set of microservices there. Uh, but usually many junior developers don't know what exactly is happening. But without knowing that, nowadays the expectations have been changed from the interviewers. Even if you are a software development engineer, co-op, or intern, still you should know the big picture, what you are working on. Otherwise, you are not going to save time for other engineers. So that's the
Mhm.
where nowadays interviewers are expecting developers to know. You should have minimum curiosity to know how a large scale system operates. That's why casually, as part of the brainstormers, they will start asking you a question like, can you please help me how to build a chart application?
Mhm.
Usually, some good developers jump directly, or maybe enthusiastic students jump directly into the details. We shouldn't go to the details. We should think big, like chart application means what kind of chart? You can ask a clarification question, whether it is
Mhm.
WhatsApp chart or, or a simple SMS messaging chart, where one-on-one user, you don't need any big architecture there. You just need a client-side networking application. One server end program, one client end program, or maybe two can be separate servers, which are, I mean, two separate programs which are running on a good secure network layer. That is what enough to send and receive messages, because they work under a secure network, say like a mobile network. If you say that particular service provider will takes care of that network, it's not web. But when it comes to so suppose if your interviewer says, no, I want a multi-user chart, then you can ask whether it is a WhatsApp kind of asynchronous, or a Facebook chart, or a messaging app chart, or a Google Hangouts chart, or even Zoom chart in that case. This is what? This is a live or active multi-user chat. Means communication should be synchronous here. But if you go to the
Mhm.
WhatsApp, communication is asynchronous. It means if you message in WhatsApp, if the other user doesn't have internet, still they will receive it after they log off.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
Asynchronous communication. Nowadays, most of the chat applications are supporting asynchronous, but usually still some small chat applications do not need asynchronous. Example, Zoom. Zoom is still synchronous, right? We cannot speak
Mhm.
when only one person is there. If I speak and if I leave, and it's not like that, right? The purpose of Zoom is
Mhm.
really synchronous communication. All the users should be active and participating during the call. Once the administrator stops the meeting, that gets over. That's it. Still, we can record. However, it's not that effective. So you need to ask your interviewer about the user psychology. It's not. Again, there is a huge difference between product engineering versus SDE perspective, but SDE questions should scope around the high level details and then go quickly into the technical aspects. But product manager thinks about the business aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Problem statement is same, but if it is a product manager interview, they will think more about market research, like how much money we can able to earn by building this product and what kind of customers we need to target, what age people we need to target. This will be the product manager thought process. After doing all that research, product manager will give a senior engineer or software development manager to develop that product. And from there, as an SDE or SDE intern, you need to ask these questions from the technical perspective. You don't care about business and all. That is secondary. For the engineering perspective, primary thing is technical challenges and provide the feasibility whether this problem can be solved or not using your existing technology. Or even if it is solvable, how long does it take? Those are the things as an SDE you should be aware of. Okay. So now once we go quickly here in next few sessions, we will be talking in-depth details about microservices uh, and other architectural things. But here I just need to touch upon what are the terminologies you should know before even you start coding in any company.
Mm-hmm.
So first, if you go to the project or if you know, you need to learn some particular project knowledge sharing session, think that whether it is following microservices architecture or traditional monolithic. Traditional means
Mm-hmm.
one service
Or
can do many operations.
mm-hmm.
Here, microservice means there is one dedicated server and infrastructure available to run, or maybe multiple servers are available to run your service, which performs only one activity. So if this service fails, it doesn't affect other parts.
Independent, basically.
Exactly. And they are asynchronous as well. Suppose if you take
Mm-hmm.
Amazon, once the order is created, okay, suppose if this service has failed, still it will be saved in cart. If order
Mm-hmm.
creation is failed, still it will be saved in. If you log in back into Amazon, the details are still there in the cart. You can still check out that order.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power of microservices behind. If it is monolithic, customer has to start right from shopping to the order. So you just need to keep that in mind. So that is important. And there are a lot of things in this area, but just to keep in mind, microservices are easily scalable from 100 users to 1 billion users in a minute you can serve. That's the power of microservices scalability, maintainability. There are a lot of frameworks available which can take care of maintaining these applications. And fault isolation is scope of, if anything is failed, the scope is only for one particular feature, not for the,
Service.
yeah, one particular work, but not for the remaining tasks.
Mm-hmm.
So you might know, but just want to tap you on the terminologies before you delve into the technical aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, another most important is web framework. Suppose if it is a WhatsApp web now, or Amazon Shopping, or Google Docs. These are all online web technologies. So if you are building any web-based, you have dozens of technologies available, but we should know which one is for what purpose and when to use. Can I mix multiple? Or suppose some microservices or some applications are already built using one framework and you are building another website, but it has to integrate with other. Example, Zoom. If I want to log in using Zoom, I can be either a new user register. I should register as a new user, or I can use an existing Google or Outlook or some other Yahoo account, right? Email account. So you just
Mhm.
click on Google, sign in as a Google user. I mean, to a Facebook or Microsoft or any web application like Zoom, you can log in using another application like Google, which is already available to you. You don't need to register in each and every place. You can just
Mhm.
log in using Google server. How that interaction has to happen. Google was built using Spring.
Mhm.
Zoom, just for our understanding, example's sake, Zoom has been built using ASP.NET. How can two technologies link each other with a button click?
Mhm. Through
That,
APIs.
yes, that is where these APIs come into picture and how those APIs has to be interacted using web servers.
Mhm.
So those things we should be aware of. Okay. Fundamentally, what are the components involved and what features these web frameworks serve for you. So those things what interviewers would be very much interested. They don't ask you direct questions. What are the advantages of web frameworks or microservices? They will give you a
Mhm.
right away, say like WhatsApp web problem.
Mhm.
What web framework you choose? He will ask you. Suppose if you say, I use Spring Web. Why Spring
Mhm.
Web? Why not some other? Say like Python, Django, or some other. You
Mhm.
tell the differences. For this purpose,
Okay.
Spring would be better than this because we have a lot of features, a lot of microservices which would automatically configured. So we don't need to write too much code to do the configuration or handling anything.
Yes.
Either XML or
Mhm.
annotations can take care of this. Likewise, we should answer when you.
Okay. And can we even say like this, like the language we are using, it supports better with this language? Like, for example, the company is using Java. So XYZ framework supports Java better than other. That is the reason we are using this framework.
That's a very
Can we
good
say this?
question. Yes, that's a very good question. We should tell at the same time, we should prove them that we have done hands-on work on that.
Okay.
Even if we do small two-page website,
Mm.
still they can easily catch whether we have done or not.
Okay.
So, before interview, we should write a small login, um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
registration and small one or two button click features, like say like display from database or something, some small
Mm-hmm.
shopping or library or a student registration, like academic registration like that. The reason is once you do that small application, it should have a microservices, web framework, and then the databases. It should be having, you know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
database feature
Idea of
there. You need to know like how do you usual common question in the database is how do you handle complex joins, say like groups. You have you are part of hundreds of groups and you need to send one message across the groups. Nowadays a lot of services are being built and you need to retrieve all your messages across all groups uh, performed in last 1 month. If it
Mm-hmm.
is SQL, you can write a simple join between groups table and users table and messages table.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do a join between three tables and do some cross join and get the data. But if it is and no SQL, not only SQL, how do you perform those joins
Mm-hmm.
using MapReducer? If you say, did you do that? Did you do that? Such questions do come. Even if you are Indian, they don't care. But that is what expectations
Mm-hmm.
to have variety. If you don't need to do work 1 year on these things, you just need to spend 1 or 2 weeks to learn
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
do hands-on. That's exactly what missing from the new developers, and they can't understand. Suppose in a company, in a project, you have to, so one developer, there is no dedicated developer for one section. A developer should work across these technologies.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they pay that much money, 6-digit salaries all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Its salaries come when you have at least 6 variety skills. Okay. And it is same as technology doesn't matter, but these fundamentals are important. And if you use in one technology, they're fine. Whether you did it in Python, but you are asked to code that in Java for a company, they don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Technology doesn't
Okay.
mind. But you should be aware of differences, like how Audi car versus Ford car works. Very small changes, right? With the trim, base, and the capacity, look and feel apart from. Similarly here also, Java, Python, and ASP core, .NET, these are all similar. Just the companies, the little bit of syntaxes are the different, but the purpose is almost same in all the technologies. So we don't need to
Mm-hmm.
really worry much about technology, but we should be very good when to choose which one. And we
Okay.
should be quick enough to understand if the code is developed in other languages too. Okay. Let's see
So
similar.
they are more concerned about, do you have the big idea like how the things works? Either with Java, Python doesn't matter.
Not at all. I started my career as a C++ developer. Within 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
it was in Siemens. Within 2 months, I was asked to move to C Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
It was a C++ scanner. If you go to hospital, you have MRI scanner, right? MRI,
Yes.
ultrasound. I was asked
Mm-hmm.
to work on such scanner, image
Okay.
processing algorithms using C++. And then all of a sudden, uh, so Siemens had lots of customers. They wanted us to build a web-based application to provide the search data, like Google search, for their internal image search. For that, they asked us to use ASP.NET and C# technology. So within 2 months, I
Mm-hmm.
had zero knowledge. But since I was aware of all these fundamentals, I could able to learn with the help of my seniors there, and then perform well. And then immediately
Mm-hmm.
that application went well, and they asked us to build an internal search application. Siemens was still is available across 190 countries. I think, sorry, it is a 200-year, or it was built in 1837 or 1800. It was 18th century company.
Okay.
It is
Yes.
100-year
I didn't know.
history is there. It is
Mm-hmm.
across globe. So they asked us to build an application for internal employees, software search, and many tools. So since it is internal, they wanted to save money. ASP.NET is commercial by that time.
Mm-hmm.
License costs were more. So they asked us to switch from .NET to Java, because Java is still free of cost for licenses. So I had to again learn in Java and build it.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and then I was moved to research and development team. So it was a fun. So what I'm saying is, see, my core strength was C++ by then, and then moved to Java and then .NET in a same company across teams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get promoted as well. So you cannot learn Java .NET there for 3 or 6 months time. You should learn anything in 1 week time there. You should start working and learn and work. That's
Mm-hmm.
the expectation. Same in Amazon too. When I started, Asha is very proof. I started as a .NET developer there at Amazon. And then again, we switched everything back into Java in Amazon, all the tools. And 5 projects are merged into one application using microservices. Okay, so and similarly, load balancing is very important thing. You should be aware of what is load balancing, what
Mm-hmm.
algorithms load balancing. Load balancer is like uh, uh, in any company has its own infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
One microservice may need 10 servers. One may need 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the traffic, you need to have a load balancer, which will decide which algorithm to use and how much traffic, how many users you need to allow, and it should be in the secured network, all that. So we should at least have knowledge about load balancer so that
Yeah.
quick, you will be very quick to react on where the problem is. So interviewer
Mm-hmm.
will ask you a tricky question. Suppose all of a sudden Amazon server is site is down, your website,
Mm-hmm.
and you are a SDE or DevOps engineer, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is common question. How do you debug and where the problem is? The first step whenever any server is down, you need to go and see the load balancer,
So,
who the
mm,
graphs are, how the traffic is.
so first I will look at the error and then I will go for the check the log.
Exactly. Logs is one side. Load balancer tells you more details through graphs as well, how the traffic is and how many number of users are incoming users and what is the capacity of the load balancer. And that too for one particular area, there might be more traffic. Say like during Christmas,
Yes.
North American zone has a lot of traffic for Amazon. But when it is
Mm-hmm.
Diwali, India has more, or Ramjan, maybe across Middle East, more traffic will be there
Mm-hmm.
for online order, gifts, mainly the gifts. So we need to balance
So,
our server capacity. That's why we used to perform, we have been performing uh,
mm,
load testing, load testing across the service,
yes, load testing.
peak readiness. So we artificially create the load, uh, you know, to prove that there is there is enough capacity available
Redundant. Redundant.
infrastructure to make sure we will be ready for next 1 or 2 weeks festival seasons.
Yes. Auto
Very
scaling is
common.
also a
That is common practice across all companies. So you should know about all those before joining the
mm,
company. So learn to perform well in your job. So interview is very starting step. There are 99 steps ahead to do well in the job. Okay.
mm-hmm.
So if you learn like this, then you can able to do well in the interview. Fine. We will dive deep more into the related algorithms and many more. But just I want to give you introduction to variety rather than going depth into one area. So just understand,
Mm-hmm.
and then we will go depth into each area. And more than that, we need to learn like what are the fundamentals of load tester algorithms like round robin, XYZ. Okay, we'll do that as well. Next one is caching. Caching in all layers is very important, and there is no escape from caching.
Mm-hmm.
Say like cricket streaming is best example. If you're watching any cricket match, the video will be cached. Even if the main server fails, the live broadcaster fails, there will be a delay with few seconds, 5 to 10 seconds in the streaming platform like Hotstar. Your interviewer may ask you to design Netflix
Mm-hmm.
or Amazon Prime or Hotstar or YouTube kind of application. You cannot bring exact live always. There can be few. It's okay if it is a multi-user chart to have some lag for few seconds, 10 to 20 or 30. It's okay. Users are fine. But you need to provide 100% quality. Caching provides you that.
Okay.
Once the stream data comes, those bytes will be cached across the regions. And then they will be streamed to the pumped to the streaming app, the display app. And then
Mm-hmm.
the live broadcaster will keep pushing it forever.
Okay. So it is not like a direct broadcasting.
You can't do without cache because if something goes wrong, the application will fail and there will be
So,
a screen coming to them, which users don't like because they can turn off and go to some other streaming app from Disney to
so,
Hotstar to some other
mm-hmm.
like that.
So there is a need of lag as well. Like lag plays an important role here as well.
If there is, say like
Because
if I am watching a movie, it's okay, right, to have some lag,
mm,
but I need to provide
mm-hmm.
best quality, best movie experience.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
So yeah, we will dive more, maybe one session dedicated to Netflix design or Hotstar design.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We'll dive fully into it. So see, as a
Mm.
postgraduate student, you should have all this uh, in depth so that you are ready to fit. Okay, don't think
Mm.
just about the syntaxes, coding. Those are important, maybe 30 or 33%. 66 to
Mm-hmm.
7% is all about this. Okay, so then
Yeah.
you will be always better than competitors, because I know a lot of students doing lead code, thousands of lead code algorithms, but they can't make it because they are missing these areas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
They don't know like where to fit those codes, like
yeah,
how to make the use of in real time.
exactly. I'll be sending you Google Hangout uh,
Okay,
through
sure, sure. Yeah.
WhatsApp, because it will be disconnecting, but this will touch the core part. There is one more slide. It's just the benefits, but we will talk more in the upcoming sessions, but it is just an introduction. Cool. Okay, I'll share that through my business number and we'll connect.
Oh, you, you have my US number?
Mm.